Everyone walked past the old man in the wheelchair. His uniform was neat but unfamiliar, his medals dull with age, his hands trembling as he clutched a folded document no one bothered to read. He spoke softly in a language no one understood, until a janitor with tired eyes froze mid-step, dropped his mop, and whispered a single word in Japanese. The old man looked up, and in that instant, everything changed. The terminal was loud, crowded, impatient, just like the world felt to Daniel Carter most days. Daniel worked the night shift as a janitor at the International Civic Center, scrubbing floors long after applause faded and lights dimmed. At 37, he carried exhaustion in his shoulders and quiet determination in his walk. His life revolved around one small apartment, one aging car, and one reason he never gave up: his 10-year-old daughter, Lily. Lily believed her father could do anything. Daniel believed he was barely holding things together. That morning, Daniel had been called in early. A global maritime conference had ended, and the building was a mess. Coffee cups everywhere. Paper programs scattered like fallen leaves. Delegates rushing past him without eye contact, without thanks, without seeing him at all. He was used to that. Near the security desk, Daniel noticed a commotion, or rather, the absence of one. A man sat alone in a wheelchair, dressed in a formal Navy uniform unlike the others. His hair was white, his back straight despite his age, and his eyes, sharp, searching, confused. Security officers stood nearby, annoyed. "He doesn't speak English," one muttered. "No ID we can read," another said. "Probably missed his escort." The old man spoke again, his voice calm but strained. The words were precise. Formal. Polite, Japanese. Daniel's heart skipped. He hadn't heard that language spoken aloud in over 15 years. His grip tightened on the mop handle as memories flooded back. His late wife, Aya. Her quiet laughter. Her patient teaching. How she used to correct his pronunciation while cooking dinner, teasing him gently, telling him language was not just words but respect. Daniel stepped forward before he could talk himself out of it. He said softly, "Excuse me." The old man's head snapped up. His eyes widened, then softened with relief so deep it almost hurt to witness. "You understand me?" the man asked. Daniel nodded. "Yes, sir." "A little." The officers stared. The old man exhaled shakily. "I am Admiral Kenji Sato. I was invited here. But I believe there has been a misunderstanding." As Daniel translated, the irritation melted from the officers' faces into surprise, then embarrassment. The papers Admiral Sato carried weren't random, they were official invitations, written in Japanese, confirming his attendance as an honored guest. No one had bothered to look closely enough to notice. As arrangements were hastily made, Daniel stayed by the Admiral's side, translating, reassuring, listening. "You learned Japanese well," Admiral Sato said later, studying Daniel carefully. "Where?" Daniel hesitated. "My wife was Japanese. She passed away." The Admiral bowed his head deeply. "Then you honor her by remembering her language." Something warm and unfamiliar stirred in Daniel's chest. Before leaving, Admiral Sato reached for Daniel's hand. "Please," he said. "Have tea with me later. There is more I wish to say." Daniel almost declined. He always did, but something told him this moment mattered, and so, he said yes. They met in a quiet conference room overlooking the harbor. Tea steamed gently between them, the silence peaceful rather than awkward. Admiral Sato spoke slowly, deliberately, as if choosing each word carried weight. "I was once ignored like this," he said. "Not today, but long ago. After the war, when apologies were not welcomed and age was mistaken for irrelevance." Daniel listened, translating when needed, but mostly listening as a man who understood what it felt like to be unseen. "I was invited here to speak about reconciliation," the Admiral continued. "But today, I learned something more important." He looked Daniel straight in the eyes. "Honor does not belong to rank. It belongs to character." Daniel swallowed. No one had spoken to him like that in years. Before leaving, Admiral Sato asked about Daniel's life. The long nights. The bills. Lily's school dreams. Her love of books. Her dream of becoming a teacher. Days later, Daniel was called into the administration office. His hands shook. He expected trouble. Instead, he found representatives from the conference, a translator, and Admiral Sato himself, standing. "You showed respect when no one else did," the Admiral said. "So now, respect must be returned." Through a foundation, Admiral Sato arranged a scholarship for Lily, full coverage, future education secured. He also recommended Daniel for a language liaison position at the center, a role that valued not just his skills, but his humanity. Daniel tried to refuse. Pride. Habit. The Admiral smiled gently. Accepting help is not weakness. It is how bridges are built. That night, Daniel told Lily everything. She hugged him tightly. Mom would be proud, she said, and Daniel believed her. The world will ignore uniforms it doesn't recognize. It will dismiss voices it doesn't understand. It will overlook people it decides are invisible. But one moment of kindness, one unexpected connection, can change not just a life, but a legacy. A janitor spoke a forgotten language. An Admiral was finally heard. And a little girl's future was forever changed.